So, what are we going to talk about today, Pete?
Well, we have a lot to talk about, you and I, Stan, and we do talk a lot in our work.
We
Uh,
do.
so, so we thought that we'd put together some dialogue on video to
Mm,
give some more insight into the whole process of selling a law firm.
yes, and it can be a very sort of easy process and a quick process, or it can take some time. I suppose we can talk about some of the practices we have sold in general terms and give people an indication of the little quirks of each different listing and transaction. Do you want to start? What about metro practice, where an owner was really keen on retiring? The owner's partner worked in the business, so they were both keen on retiring to the point where they had actually extricated themselves from the office and were working remotely.
Mm.
Uh, the office was located in a prominent metropolitan position and a sought after position, but they weren't working there. So, so you know, what do you think
So,
some of the challenges are with that
so,
situation?
so I think every sale is like a journey,
Yeah.
and usually the journey starts with me, but
Yes.
not always. When
Mhm.
I do my analysis of the firm and discuss a sell price. But even prior to that, I'll prepare a proposal and send it to our prospective client.
Yeah.
And I'm recalling this particular case um, where we sent the proposal, and if I'm remembering it correctly, it the prospective client pretty much sat on it for about 2 years. So
Yeah. Yeah, that's right.
So
And 2 years later, we got another phone call to pick it up
do I
again.
pressure clients when after I send out proposals, Stan?
I would say from that example, no, you don't.
No, I generally don't because, our clients get a feel for when the time is right to take
Right.
action. And sometimes that's well before or well after, I should say, that they receive a proposal from us. And that's fine because we generally want to work with clients who want to sell and are not pressured by us to sell their practice.
Yeah, look, that's true. But I think we can both agree, I think we can, that people have the thought of selling. A principal has the thought of selling for often for very good reasons. And maybe it's just age and it's time to sell, or maybe it's health, or maybe it's the extra stress is just not serving them in other ways in their life. And I would say that it's very easy when you're making that sort of decision, that magnitude, that large life decision, to put it off. It's a big one to make. But I think the great thing about having people like us to help is that you can hand over control of that process and not have to think about it too much. Yes, there's some setup which you've just alluded to, but after that, it's up to us to find people, to vet them, to, really try and analyze whether they're the right match for the principal's practice and for that principal, because that relationship's going to go on after the sale. It could be just for a short time or it could be for a longer time with the principal working on a part-time basis. I mean, with the example I was talking about first, and you mentioned the 2-year delay, that was they were very apologetic when they came back to us after 2 years, and they did say they were sorry they hadn't sort of followed up sooner.
Mm.
And 2 years had gone by very quickly, very
Stan,
quickly.
it's a bit of a classic situation, don't you think? Um, Timing is everything, and people often act too soon,
Yeah.
and or they act too late. But what proportion of people act just at the perfect timing. It's very hard to get it perfectly timed.
It is hard, but I will say that if you're acting too soon, we're also good at telling you. You know, we can help you with those decisions. So if a
And
principal came to us, there's nothing against having an open, honest discussion about whether it is the right time to sell or not. So we explore the reasons we're getting the phone call. We explore the reasons the principal is feeling like this. And if we sense that it's not the right decision, it's not the right move, we're quick to tell you because we don't actually want to waste your time and we don't want to waste our time. We're
and
here to
and
be effective for both
and
parties.
and,
Yeah.
and there's also a bit of a stopgap there in our proposals, because the first part of the proposal is for us to do an analysis of the firm and come to a consensus on how the sale should be structured, and to get insights into the extent that a client wants to keep working or doesn't want to keep working or actually doesn't know. And if they don't know the extent that they want to keep working after a sale, then we negotiate a more flexible, variable type of arrangement that lets them work if they want to work and not work if they don't want to work. And
That's right.
so this whole analysis is really part one of working together with new clients. And if at that point the client wants to put it on hold or pause or stop, that's entirely up to them. We're not speaking to any prospects until that part of the process is completed. And again, that's another time that sometimes there's little bits of delay occurring.
Sure, sure. And I think what you're saying is really important because you contact us and express some, inkling that you want to sell when you're not actually sure, then you can rest assured that our process allows you to make that decision a little later once we've gone through the first steps. No prospects are contacted. No one knows about, well, that's our aim. No one is to know about a possible sale until you say, yes, I'm ready. And yes, that documentation is right. Please go out to your prospects and see what you can find for me.
So there's a number of different points in the process where an uncertain client or someone who's not doesn't have that degree of confidence about timing can start the process and then just put it on pause at various points, and which we will not be guilting anyone about it.
No.
We will appreciate the openness, but there is one thing that is fairly consistent, Stan, and that is that no matter how much delay or pausing or procrastination occurs, once a client decides they want to sell, bang, they really let us know, don't they?
Yeah,
That
yeah,
they
they
want
get
to.
excited. They get excited about that, and they start, and rightly so, because the moment you say yes, go ahead, I want to sell, you start thinking about life after the sale and how good that might look for you, whether you want to work part-time or whether you want to totally retire, etc., and go on a nice holiday. So yes, once a decision is made, our clients, well, 99% of them say, please, let's go for it and get really energized by that. And then start refocusing on their business in a different way, getting it ready for the transition to a new owner, etc. And that's a whole other subject about what's required for a transition. And maybe we should talk about that next time.
Yeah, so this has been a very good conversation, and this is part of a new series that we're creating, in which we just talk about our work, how we deal with clients, some of the experiences, anonymously, of course, that we go through. And it's all intended to give you a bit of a behind the scenes, would you say, Stan,
Yeah,
of what's involved in selling a practice?
I just hope it means that if you're watching this video, you're understanding that we're easy to talk to, easy to relate to, and the process is not as full of dread or fear as you might think. It's pretty straightforward, and you get the opportunity to settle into it. And if you finally decide, yes, I want to sell, then we put the energy into it and we try our hardest to get you a sale. If you down the track before that moment decide against it, that's fine with us. So that's what I'm hoping, that everyone realises we're here to create a comfortable journey,
Yes,
with our
absolutely.
clients.
With
Yeah,
with very experienced people on your side.
yeah, yeah. How long have you been doing this, Pete?
I'll have to double check that.
I think
Long
23 years,
time.
Pete. I think 23 years.
You're the one who keeps counting, so I'll accept your calculations.
Well, I think it's important. I think it's important. If you've been doing it for 23 years, tell the world about it, because you're not a novice, I've only been doing it for 3 and a bit years, but I've got your experience behind me when I'm dealing with prospects on the sales side. So yes, 23 years of experience, and we manage a comfortable journey for our clients. Absolutely.
All right, Stan. Well, thank you. And I'm looking forward to our next video conversation.
Thanks, Peter. Me too.
All right. Bye-bye.